Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Auburn, Massachusetts. We are here at Bowlero, Auburn Lanes, and we are here for the position round of the Vincent Hall Memorial Over-Under Doubles, and we'll explain how we got here and what's happening and where we go from here. Bruce Hall here with you, and a beautiful fall Sunday afternoon here in New England. And we are sponsored today by TechVision, which is my live streaming company, and thrilled to be bringing you this action this afternoon. So let's explain what's happening here. We have just had 7 match play Baker doubles rounds. This is over-under, so they're doubles teams. This is Baker competition. Here is Mike Lichstein, as you can see, up on lane 16. His partner is Ryan Graywax. And they are now in the lead, and we are fighting for the top 3 to make our stepladder, which will come up right after this. This is the last of 8 games of round-robin match play. And hey, Carl Buckley, how you doing, my friend, from the UK? And we are now in the position round of that match play. And here is Graywax on the left lane. Again, Baker, so one teammate is on the left lane, one is on the right, and they alternate shots. And here's Graywax bowling on 15. Their opponent in this match is Chris Viali and Kevin Tebow, who currently occupy the number 2 spot in the standings, and they would be number 2 on the stepladder if things ended right now. And then to our right, up on 19 and 20, is the third place team of Dennis Bissonette and Chris Monroy, and they are fighting to either stay in third or come to second or pass at first. Now, those 3 teams are collectively, and I'll explain how we got to the scoring, Graywax and Lichstein are plus 886, Tebow and Viali plus 872, Bissonette and Monroy plus 859. And then the next team, which is actually Pierce Field and Joe Scianna, are way back at 583. Then we have 4 other teams who made the finals. There was 8 teams that qualified for this round robin, which is why we had 7 games of round robin and then a position round where Jay Johnson and Bill Webb, Robert Green Jr. and Chris Forey, Adam Zimmerman and Don Harrington, and Hunter Kempton and Bill Green. All those other 5 teams, starting with Field and Scianna, are far enough back they're not going to have a chance to make the stepladder. So we are here focusing on Lichstein, Graywax, Tebow, Viali, and Bissonette and Monroy to see where they will cement their place in the 3-team stepladder. Hey, Paige Nelson, how are you? We have $6,000 added by my company TechVision, so we've got a pretty healthy prize fund going here. First place is $4,400. We had 30 teams enter. We cut to the top 8. Qualifying was yesterday, where we had 5 games of qualifying on one pattern, which was the short pattern. Then we had 5 games of qualifying on another pattern, which is a long pattern. So 10 games of qualifying yesterday. That was straight, not Baker, but that was just straight score. That cut was plus 352, so the 10-game team game total needed to be plus 352 or better. And now today, though, we're moving to Baker, and with a 60-pin bonus for the winner of the 2-game Baker match. So the 2 patterns we're working with are Broadway, which is 37 feet, 26.45 mils, 4.77 to 1. That was the short pattern that we bowled on yesterday morning. And then we have Titanium, which is the 44-foot pattern, which was 4.21 to 1, 25.3 mils. And that was the long pattern we bowled on yesterday afternoon. Very interestingly, yesterday, the cut after the short pattern 5 games was plus 180. The cut after the long pattern 5 games almost doubled to plus 352, almost exactly the scoring pace between round 1 and round 2. However, very, very different teams made it into the finals, and I'll give you an example. Andrew Hall and I, we ended up shooting 304 over for our first 5 games, and then we had a good 6th game, but then we fell back and fell out of the cut because we struggled on the long. So we have the long pattern and the short pattern. now, which brings us to today. I'm sorry, it's taken me 5 frames to explain the format. Sorry, folks. So now we're coming to today, and we have Broadway, which is our short pattern on the left lane, and we have Titanium, which is our long pattern on the right lane. So the bowler who is on the left of the team is dealing with the short pattern. The bowler who's on the right is dealing with the long pattern, and after game 1, they swap positions. So we have each bowler has to bowl one half of the Baker game on each of the patterns. So it's a very good test of who can adapt to both the long and the short pattern, and obviously teamwork and also endurance. This has been a long couple of days. We had 10 games yesterday, 8 rounds of 2-game Baker. That means 8 net games per bowler today, and then we're going to have a step ladder where the top 2 will bowl 3, and then 1 will bowl 2 for the title. Again, 2-game Baker. So hopefully after all that, you're not asleep and you're still with us, and we can now start to focus a little bit more on the match. And as it turns out, these teams are so close that it's really whoever wins, because if you think about the 60-pin bonus, you've got Graywalks and Lichstein at 886, Tebow and Viali at 872, Bissonnette Monroy 859. So only, 30, not even 30, 27 pins separating first and third with a 60-pin bonus for a win. So think about whichever team wins basically can secure their place in the finals. Amy, yes, there could be a football game. Well, according to Carl Buckley, in the UK there is a real football game, which is actually a soccer game up on the TV next to lanes 15 and 16 here. So we are in the low end here at Auburn, 15 and 16, and there was hello, Debbie Benson-Brogan. How are you? Thank you so much for being here yesterday to run pots and brackets for us. And I will get to what the special meaning this tournament has for myself and for my family in a minute. It was very, very good times yesterday to get my mother here, who's 97. Honestly, this is in honor of my late dad, who died in 2020. My parents had celebrated their 72nd wedding anniversary. That's 7-2. And my mom, who is 97, is still around, and my dad passed in 2020, so she was here yesterday, and it was a great moment for her and for me, and everybody was just so polite, and we got a nice picture here, everybody signed and everything, so very nice memorial for my dad, Vincent Hall. So thanks so much, everyone, for coming out and for all the support, and feeling great about that. Anyway, so back to the match. So once again, you've got to win to get 60 bonus pins, and you can see how people are struggling somewhat in this pattern. There's this combination of struggling for the patterns, which are a little bit challenging. They are 4 or 5 to 1, so you can strike on it. However, they're beat up a little bit, and so are the bowlers, having 10 games yesterday, and now everybody's in their 8th game today. So a little bit of a physical test, as well as obviously a equipment test, bowling test, knowledge test, spare shooting. Really, it's all come into play here. So this 2-game format has definitely had the cream rise if you look at the teams that are here. One other interesting thing about this format, and you may be wondering why Dennis Bissonnette and Lichstein are bowling together. Actually, Ryan Graywalks and Lichstein are bowling together. They are 2 champions. In fact, Ryan was Bowler of the Year just a few years ago. There's no limit on NEBA titleists bowling together in this event. So you saw teams like Del Picard. Hey, buddy, thank you so much. And it was great to see you here yesterday. And sorry, you were first out of the cut, Del, and I'm sorry you guys, like we did, had a bad last game and just missed the final. So great to see you here, my friend. So here's Mike Lichstein, again at a 180 pace, and the double on the Viali team got them back to the 180 pace. Again, 2-game Baker, 2-game total score will determine the winner of this match. They will receive a 60-pin bonus. And once all this is done, actually these 2 games, we're going to relocate down to lanes 11 and 12. And those are fresh pairs. and that is where the stepladder will take place. We've kept those lanes fresh all day, and again, the left lane is Broadway, and right lane is Titanium. So we will have a very, very short break between this set of Baker games and the stepladder, but we'll be right back with that fairly quickly, and we'll get guys going and get through the stepladder here. So, and there's Graywax trying to set up his partner for the 10th, and unfortunately he misses right on the shorter pattern, trying to get the ball to turn up there. And now here's Mr. Vialli to put together 3 in a row. I know Christopher's left knee is in a lot of pain today, so he's working really, really hard to stay with it. A lot of grit, a lot of guts, and look at that. Comes through the beak, breaks up the 6-7-10 to leave him a makeable spare. So once again, 2-game Baker, so we're not too worried about the outcome of this first match. And we will accept that Ryan goes through and chops the 2-5-8, and unfortunately leaving his team staring at $170, and that's if Michael Lichstein can double. And here's Vialli, hangs on to make the 6-10, and at $1.80, $1.80 game, they're going to take a fairly substantial lead in this match. So we will take it from there. During the stepladder, Chris Forey will join us, and he will add some wonderful color commentary. He made the finals with his partner Bob Green, and he's been bowling all day and grinding it out. They're down in the lower pairs here. I think they're down on 5 and 6 actually. And there's a great job by Tebow. Can Tebow strike again and get himself to the 190s, which would give them a minimum 18-pin lead. And let's see how we're doing. So let's check in on the Skiana Monroy match. Again, it's Skiana and fireballing Prince Field down on 19 and 20, and they are up against our third place team, Chris Monroy and Dennis Bissonette. And how about Lichstein sneaking out a 6-8 carry right now? And can Michael get another one to get them to the 170s? Very crucial. If Tebow were to miss and Michael Lichstein strike, we are talking about a match that will be within a mark going into game 2. Here's Tebow looking for strike number 2. Gets it. Big shot for Kevin Tebow. Get him to the 190s. And just checking in on our match here using the official binoculars. I see a triple and a 210 pace for the Monroy team. And I see a, 196 and a 210 pace also for the Prince Field team. So assuming they make the 4-pin that Prince Field has left, they're both at a 210 pace. However, Monroy can get him to the 230s if he can double. And he goes a little bit into the pocket and leaves an 8-pin, nasty 8-pin, does Chris Monroy lead. So they're going to be, assuming Prince Field covers up this 4-pin, and no problem there. So now we're talking about a match that's really within just the count, which is 9-6. 9-6. So we're really talking about a 3-pin match right here up on the Prince Field match. And again, the winner, 60 bonus pins, hugely important for where you are positioned in this 3-team stepladder. Anybody's match in terms of who could be first. Oh, do that again. So we have our scores for the Lichtenstein Raywalks match, 189 to 167. So, and let's see where we ended up down on the Bissonnet match, and they were within 3 pins down at the other match. So let's see what happens in game 2 here. And we'll now go into game 2, and what we've had to do here is swap the arrows each game because the bowlers swap lanes, and we want to stay with the same scoring. The idea is we want each bowler to have to bowl on each pattern twice. Now let's see, Bissonnet, I just saw doubled down there, so very important match on the Bissonnet side, and Michael just a little bit high. Coming in for a 6-pin. They are now 22 down, are the Graywalk Lichtenstein team. And basically it's whoever wins. So if Bissonnet and Monroy can figure out how to win, and Viali can figure out how to win, it will be the difference in their scores, which will determine who will be in first. If Lichtenstein were to lose and the other two were to win, they would most certainly be third. But no one else really isn't within a shouting distance of these top 3 teams. So once again, 30 teams entered here in Bowlero, Auburn. We had, again, 10 games of qualifying yesterday. Took 8 qualifiers in with 8 game round robin. This is game number 8. After this, we'll have a 3-team step ladder, which will commence right after this, starting on 11 and 12. So here we go. Next event coming up, KR Strike Force. And this is Brian Beaver, who's our sponsor there. Thank you so much, Brian. October 1st and 2nd. And anybody who's qualified for the Paul Forey Memorial needs to be at that October 2nd, 9 a.m. Qualifying squad. That is an eliminator for the Paul Forey Memorial. And I was commenting yesterday and talking to Chris Forey how nice it is that we are finally able to have the memorials for our fathers that we meant to do last year because of our friend COVID, we're not able to do. So great to have these this year. So I'm seeing Bissonnet and Monroy starting with the front 4, even though they're within a mark of their match. They're looking very, very strong right now to capture their match with a good score, and then we will figure out the stepladder position for those guys after that. Here's Viali, slow rolling the 7-pin and covers it once again. This is a number 1 and number 2 battle for the step ladder, which will come after this. There's Graywalks playing. Now we can see how the guys switch, and obviously they switch to the long pattern. Ryan makes a shot that he thought might recover, but goes right through the pattern. Down for a washout. 1, 2, 4, 10. We saw lots of washouts today, lots of 2-8-10s, lots of 4-6s, and all manner of other combos, as well as a lot of striking. So really, really interesting patterns. I thought they matched up very well to the lane surfaces, and definitely created the opportunity to score, but also the opportunity to get yourself into some trouble. So I didn't see a team yesterday that didn't have at one point a game that was 40 under or so. Andrew and I made it through 5 games before we had our bad game, and then we ended up not being able to keep pace for the last few games to miss the cut. So very, very interesting scoring dynamics here on these 2 different patterns. And also the evidence, here's Monroy and Bissonnette with the front 4 down on 19 and 20. So there's Thibault. Let's see how he plays. Now you got to move in, obviously, on the longer pattern, but it does not give you a huge amount of hold, nor is there a huge amount of swing. So you've got to have the ball rolling forward through the pattern, and it's got to read just like any other longer pattern, as we talk about all the time. The ball needs to be reading and reacting before it gets to the end of the pattern as it rolls through the pattern. And Monroy trying for the front 5, leaves a 9-pin. And here's Michael trying to get his team out of the doldrums, right up the edge. Smash 7, no thank you, says Michael. He thought that was a pretty good shot, and so did I, but it won't go. And here's Thibault covering the 3-6-10. So right now, looking good for Vialli and Thibault. But unfortunately, even Vialli and Thibault were 30 pins behind based on score. The team of Monroy and Bissonnette. So right now, with Bissonnette and Monroy with the front 4 and 219 in the books, they are looking very good to jump up and take the lead here. As we said, the top 3 teams very, very close. And really the rest of the 5 have fallen off the pace. So we'll be focusing on these 3 teams, and we'll have a step ladder, and it will be these 3 teams, and we will bring you that action here. So Michael's like, how can I buy a strike here? No, thank you. And meanwhile, Bissonnette going up for a 6-pin in the 6th frame. And again, this is the 2nd game of 2-game Baker. We total them together, and the winning team gets 60 bonus pins based on our match play. We'll be moving to a step ladder, which will be a 2-game total. And if you win, you advance. If you don't, you don't. You see Vialli going out to the edge and getting some bank and bringing it back. So good shot there by Mr. Vialli. Veronique Sigur, good to see you, Veronique. I remember attempting to pronounce your name correctly for the Bowling Promotion Cup last year. I hope I didn't butcher it too badly, but great to have you on the live stream here. And Ryan Graywax goes up and says, thank you very much. High in the pocket, 410. No thank you at all. And Ryan feeling a little dejected here, and saying that there's just not any love whatsoever here. So Graywax will get the 1. Now, again, where Field and Sciana, who are in 4th place, are plus 583. That's nearly 300 pins off the pace. So there's no conceivable way that anybody outside of the top 3 teams will have a chance to come back and jump into the step ladder. So we already know our 3 teams. It's just a matter of positioning here. We'll have 5 more frames of Baker, and then we will get to our step ladder. We'll move our Mevo over to 11 and 12. Beautiful shot there by Kevin Thibault. So despite the champion, non-champion rules here, and the 2 champions can bowl together, Kevin Thibault still without a title. And he can definitely change that soon. Today, if he can capture the #1 seed and then win 1 match and then get his first NEBA title. So here we go. Everybody could share the feed. I know it's a little bit early for a NEBA telecast. for a live stream here, but if you could share it, I would very much appreciate it. And Bissonnette does strike in the 8th, so they're looking solid too. And Mike Littstein finally runs out a strike. Now here's an interesting development in the Bissonnette match, in that Prince Field and Joe Scianna had 57 in the 4th, but then they've gone next 4, so 80, 110, 140. So they're back up to a 200 pace after having 2 opens. However, we've got the Monroy team at a 220 such pace. But if Prince Field, if you ever never seen this guy bowl, you're in for a treat. You'll see him on the step. No, you will not see him on the stepladder. But what a monster ball he throws. He just wheels he completely opens his shoulders and just wheels on it. One-hander, but he wheels on it with as much speed and power as any two-hander I've ever seen. So just an amazing game that he's got here. There's Vialli to just about seal the deal here. They've already got a 22-pin lead with more lead here, and he runs it out, snaps off the 10-pin. Give it to him, plus 17 through 5. And then the Graywax team, unfortunately, minus 28. They can make it 18, so 30 plus 20, a 50-plus pin lead now for the Thibaut Vialli team, vying to take the #1 position. And this is going to be close. We're going to have to add these scores together and see where we're going to end up. And Chris Monroy was able to double to fend off 90-210, so they're already in the 230s. And I guess Scianna and Field can get to the 230s as well. Still a very close match here on 19 and 20. And that's going to be a 7-pin, yes. That's a 7-pin for Bissonnette. So now it's, I believe, Scianna. 210, 235, 37. Scianna can get up and do something. He definitely needs the 2, assuming Bissonnette makes his spare. But this is very, very close. Again, 60 bonus pins to the winner. We've got Thibaut and we've got Vialli in with 189 for their first game. Let's see how they do. Here's Scianna on the short, cannot strike. That's going to do it. It's all about Bissonnette and Monroy and what they can get for a total. And can they pass Thibaut and Vialli? Big shot here for Kevin. And gets it to the right, gets it back, rolls it. Week 10. Bissonnette makes the spare. So they're going to look at 235 plus 3. They're going to be plus 50 something. Plus their 60 pins is going to put them plus 110 or so. So they're going to be well into the 900s. They're plus 859 going in. So they'll be 900 something over. And again, Mike Littstein, unfortunately this match is now in the books with Thibaut and company, Thibaut and Vialli. Mr. Vialli, current NEBA president, but with a sore knee, and Thibaut covers up the 10-pin no problem. And we've got our other competitors finishing up here in the lower ends and wrapping up their games. And so Dennis Bissonnette ends up with Monroy 235. And they're plus 50 something. They're plus 110 or so. So they're looking very strong. Now let's figure out what Vialli and company can do. 50, 80, 210, 240. 1 second, folks. So we've got Bissonnette and Monroy adding 104 to their total. So their 859 is going to be 963. That's going to be 963. So now we've got Vialli and company needing to beat 963. They've got 872. And they shot 189 their first game, so minus 11. So that puts them at 861. And they've got to get to 963. They need 100 pins. They need 240, so they're not going to get there. They're going to shoot 2-0. So we've got a new leader. The third place team is going to go from third to first, and that's going to be Dennis Bissonnette and Chris Monroy. They're going to be number one. And then we are going to have the winner of this match, which is going to be Vialli and Thibault, number two. And then we're going to have Lichstein and Greywax come in. They're going to move from number one to number three. So very interesting. So we're going to actually see a repeat of this same match with Thibault and company with their starting position. And we will start the step ladder as soon as these guys wrap up. We'll move the Mevo down, and we will see the same two teams here in our first match. It'd be very, very interesting to see how this transpires, folks. Thanks so much for joining us on a beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Bowlero, Auburn. Many thanks to Alicia Silva, who is the manager here. Alicia has just been a godsend in helping us coordinate the lane patterns and all of the lanes that we needed. Having the staff here. She was here at 7 a.m. yesterday. And just an amazing turnout and support at this Bowlero Center by Alicia Silva. So thank you so much to Alicia and her entire staff here at Bowlero, Auburn. Thanks so much to Dan. Danny was here very early yesterday. Had to come Friday night to get ready for the tournament, two-day event. So thank you so much, Dan, for coming up. Thank you to Debbie, came up and did the brackets for us yesterday. Did a great job there. And all the help, everybody, with this format and getting everything set for this tournament in honor of Mr. Vincent Hall, my dad and Andrew's grandfather. So, again, thank you so much. Very grateful to everybody who helped make this a reality. And, again, we're going to see the same two teams go at it again. As soon as we move the camera over, they will have everybody's pointing at the Mevo. You guys go at it. You guys go at it again, right? You guys are going at it again. Yeah. Because Bissonnette and them just jumped by both of you. Yeah. Well, you were only 30. I'm talking to Michael. You're only 30 apart. Yeah. You're only 30 apart, Haas, baby. So.
What a format, Bruce. What a format. Grueling.
Right?
It's just flat.
People are tired. People are tired, Haas. I'm talking to Mike Lichstein here, folks. Says grueling format. He likes it. He likes it. All right. So we're going to sign off here as soon as these teams finish. We will meet you over on 11 and 12. And then Mr. Forey will join me here in the booth. We will call these matches for you. And very much looking forward. We'll have two-game matches. And we'll decide the inaugural titleist of the Vincent Hall Memorial. One more shot here by Mr. Vialli, and we will wrap this up. And once again, thanks everybody for being with us. And this is going to be a meaningless shot here by Vialli. We'll be right back for these same two teams on 11 and 12 for our step ladder. Talk to you in a little bit.